then here you have a bigger stimulus here that's bigger than the medium stimulus, and therefore you get a ton of action potentials.
Can you repeat that last one?
Yep. The last part?
What you just said.
Yeah. So when you get a bigger stimulus, say someone poked you even harder, you're going to get more action potentials. Okay? So here we see more action potentials, a greater frequency. Longer sticks. All right.
So is that what you would see on the A-current sensor, like touch sensors or something?
It could go either way. Yeah. So it could be on the A-parent side or it could be on the motor side.
System.
So remember that this occurs in the muscles as well, but those neurons going to the muscles are going to have the same thing as in the muscles. So same thing as this. So if we want to pick up this yardstick, we might get this. If we want to pick up the book, we might get this. Cool. Yep. Those are on VA, myelination, all that good stuff.
The development of the neuron?
No, I really didn't go into that great detail on development stuff. And so if I go into like detail, I might have a question on it. If I don't go into that much detail, I might have one question on it on the whole test. But yeah, I development scares me, so I didn't do it as much.
Can we ask why?
I don't. Where's our little fetus?
You have
that guy right there.
Yeah, but why?
Did you have a friend
That's scary. Huh?
You just think it's scary, that's why.
Yeah,
So you're never going to have kids, Chris? That's...
probably not.
I thought you were me.
Is that a bonus question, too?
What's that? Yeah. Is Chris ever going to have kids?
No. We won't even talk about babies.
Chris, it's your duty to reproduce in this life.
No, it's
Anyway.
actually the opposite. Because when you have kids, what does that do to the environment?
Hey.
Destroys it.
Don't
Thank
listen,
you.
Lilith.
One thing that you can do for this environment is not to reproduce.
I'm going to go home and cry now.
Earmuffs.
Wow.
Lilith's going to change the world. I did my duty.
Yeah.
And didn't.
Anyway, we won't go into that.
Next question.
Next question, and it's not about me. Synapses and that kind of thing, neurotransmitters.
Yes, can you go over that, please?
Yeah, just briefly, in a nutshell, you can have, so you do have the action potential moving down the axon, and it goes into the axon terminal here, and then right in here, this is going to be the postsynaptic neuron, and so you can either have this attached to another axon, you can have it attached to a cell body, dendrite. Most typically we think of it going to the dendrite, but it can go to anything. And so then, when you do get the action potential to come down here, you get the depolarization of this part of the cell, and then you get the calcium to influx. Okay? And then that will, I didn't go into it, but it's, we'll call it magic. You guys don't need to know it. But magically, that will, the calcium will cause these little vesicles that carry these.
That explains why I didn't understand it. I was looking for magic.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to go into the great detail on you guys, but it's a 100 level course.
So I appreciate that.
Yeah. If you guys are interested, come to my office.
Nope, not wrong.
I don't want to cheat you guys.
couldn't find it in my notes. I'm
But we only have
serious.
so much time.
No, we're getting lots of education, thank you.
Yeah, well, I know. I think I went over, 300 slides since this last test? So, I don't know how many, but a lot.
Yeah.
So, magic occurs with the calcium and the synaptic vesicles. The vesicles will fuse with the cell membrane here, and through exocytosis, we'll get the output of the neurotransmitter from the presynaptic axon to the postsynaptic neuron. And then that postsynaptic neuron will have the channels there for each neurotransmitter. So each neurotransmitter has a different channel that it binds to, and then that will cause a graded potential because you'll get those channels to open up and have sodium influx or whatever, and then you can get a graded potential based off of that. Alright? So the neurotransmitter will attach to those channels and cause them to open up.
Don't understand that either. Just know that it's magic.
Yeah, I guarantee you I will not put magic on the exam. So here are where you can have these different synaptic arrangements. And then you also have your different neurotransmitters. Yeah. I think that pretty much covers that. Alright. Oh, so yeah, you can have summation, okay? So here in each one of these examples, we have an axon coming in to the cell body or the dendrites and then to the cell body. And so here, if we have an excitatory impulse, if we just have one or two kind of that's separated by a certain amount of time, we will not get an action potential to propagate down to this axon here. However, if we get two that are fairly close together, the first one will cause the membrane potential to depolarize a little bit. Then the second one will come along before it goes back to the resting membrane potential. And then it will, the second one will actually reach threshold and cause an action potential.
Is this kind of like cardiac rhythms?
Cardiac rhythms?
Yeah. Like arrhythmias and cardiac? Never mind.
Um,
What would be an example of
so that's one, is you can have the temporal summation. So imagine you're getting two impulses from the same neuron very, very fast. That is called temporal summation. And that is, so an example would be like,
Maybe.
maybe I thought about, I don't know what that was. Yeah, I mean, it's essentially, it will happen or it won't, as far as the action potential. And so, it kind of goes along the same lines as what we were talking about with the summation, way back yonder.
Is this the same as like if you're constantly one small spot versus like hitting a bunch of them at one time will send the same like stimulants? Is that the same thing or is that something different? You know what I'm talking about?
One more time now?
Like if you're putting pressure on one spot, like
Okay.
you have to hit like it has to be constant pressure over one continuous spot to get that
Versus several.
versus one jolt, like one big
Hard.
like I don't know how they kind of
Oh,
describe
hitting
it, like
several.
Hitting, it one,
Yeah.
hitting several of them at one time instead of hitting one. You get the stimulation.
If you hit a bunch at the same time, it's spatial. Like you
Right.
have 5 different spaces,
Right.
and if